Everybody wants to know how Ken made over $100,000 on one wholesale deal. But honestly, that's not the part that impressed me. The part that impressed me is how it started. Because this wasn't a perfect lead. It wasn't an easy seller. It wasn't a lucky deal. It came down to one skill that almost every new wholesaler ignores. And later in this interview, Ken shares how a 4-year follow-up turned into another $80,000 deal. So pay attention to what he says about follow-up because it's the thread running through this entire story.
Break free from your local area and unleash the power of virtual wholesaling. We'll reveal why the best deals are not in your backyard and how to make money today, anywhere in the country. Join us as we interview top investors, reveal their best secrets, and turn them into actionable steps so you can duplicate their success and do deals right now. You're listening to Virtual Wholesaling Made Simple, your key to unlocking fortunes and freedom in wholesaling.
Ken, thanks for joining us here today.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought me on, Chris. Thank you. Started wholesaling in 2016. Went out and started doing that full time.
Yep.
And then around COVID, kind of backed off from that, was kind of just doing some other things. And then in 23, saw Chris's program on the internet. And I had known Chris from, I think we met in 2014, maybe. We met a while ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah, we've known each other for a while.
Previously in another mastermind, and saw what he was putting out and thought this would really be helpful for me because I didn't want to do the belly to belly anymore. I wanted to be the virtual.
Ken had already been wholesaling, but he realized something simple. Every hour he spent driving was an hour he wasn't talking to sellers. Going virtual didn't just save time. It gave him more opportunities to have the conversations that actually create deals.
Awesome. What are some of the challenges that you were facing before you reached out to me, right? That motivated you to look for and how to overcome some of the obstacles you were facing?
In the area I'm in, belly to belly, you can only drive so far in a day.
Yeah.
And I saw where that was very limited. And I knew that, I was going to be capped at a point. I could only, again, drive so much. And then sellers don't show up. They cancel when you're 15 minutes away. And if it's a 2.5 hour round trip right now, virtually, I could get 2 or 3 deals under contract in that 2.5 hours.
What was something specific that you felt was really helpful for you on this journey to get unstuck and get more consistent on the virtual side?
One big thing is having a good CRM.
Yeah.
And being able to follow up and just keep everything organized because, first month or two, you can write it on paper, but then you'll start getting lost quick. And when someone calls you up from 3 months ago, to be able to quickly say, "Oh, I remember you said you needed to put things on pause because you're having knee surgery. How'd that go?" You built instant rapport with them. And they're like, "Wow, this guy really listened." Where if you're trying to page through your notes, believe me, it's not going to happen. I did it. So a good CRM is really important for one. The follow-up is key. There's gold in your CRM when you fill it out right. It's worth it. And just to show you that it really is worth it, my longest follow-up was 4 years, and that was an $80,000 deal.
Yes. 4 years, an $80,000 deal. Most wholesalers would have deleted that lead a long time ago. Ken didn't. And what's interesting is the $106,000 deal we're about to break down started the same way. He kept following up.
Okay. This was a pay-per-lead. I buy leads that other internet service providers that put out, we buy houses, they sell them. So I bought this lead. And it was probably a week and a half, 2 weeks, just constantly touching them. Wouldn't answer. And then finally, it was 9:15 at night. He texted, and I typically am not around, but I just answered his text.
Here's lesson number 1, move with urgency. Ken had been following up for almost 2 weeks. Then the seller finally responded at almost 9 o'clock at night. He could have waited until the morning. He didn't. And what he found out next explains why that mattered.
You also have to meet them where they're comfortable.
Yeah.
Maybe they work second shift and they've got a lot of stress going on and they need to talk at 7 in the morning, or maybe they need to talk at 10 at night. Making yourself available. And the other key is to truly caring and wanting to help people You
Yeah.
put that first, the money will follow. But trying
Boom.
to help people is what's going to bring you across as being genuinely sincere for their situation and how can we help you?
When you treat sellers like this, there is no competition.
He was heading to foreclosure in a week and a half, and he had stated as many times as he couldn't get any more stays on it. So I said, all right, let me look at it, and when can I call you and get you straightened out? Because I can help you. I know I can, but you
Yeah.
got to be willing to pick up the phone and talk to me when I call. When's a good time for you? So we set up a call for the next morning. I went over the numbers at night, and he had a decent house in an area that was up and coming, and he just wanted out of it for what he owed.
Mm.
And he owed about 50% of ARV. The reason I was going to foreclosure is because the individual's uncle had passed that he was living with, and he was the one paying the mortgage. This guy didn't have the money to pay the mortgage, so we had to open up an estate for his uncle so that the nephew could sell the property. And we had to do this, like I said, within 8 days.
Wow.
So
And this is where the deal became much bigger than buying a house. The seller was days from foreclosure. Probate had to be open. Documents had to move fast. There was almost no margin for error. Ken wasn't trying to convince someone to sell. He was solving a real problem.
the background is I got him down to the courthouse, opened probate, got probate open in a day, got all the paperwork to the title company the next day. They couldn't believe I had probate open. I said, well, when you push and work, you can get what you need. So I got him down to the courthouse, got that squared away, got the title company squared away. And then I had to front him money to move to Florida. He wanted to get to Florida right away. So we've shelled out $45,000 to get this deal. But I knew on the back end, it was going to be fat.
Yeah. So you could have just assigned this deal to a buyer like that and made a quick 20 to 25,000. But since you've been doing this for a little while, you had some cash stacked up from other deals, you were able to offer a more creative solution and maximize what you could make on that deal.
So we just trashed it out, and then we put it on the MLS for a retail buyer. And whenever I put my stuff on the MLS, I always price it under.
Yeah.
If you go too high, it sits. So we
Yeah.
put it out at 365 and it sold for 415.
Boom. Oh man, that's amazing. I love it. I love it. Put it up for 365, sold for 415. And then how much did you net after everything that you paid into the deal?
We settled on it. He was out within the week. We had it cleaned out within 3 days and on the market within 4. The time we settled till it was on the market was about 7 days. Because I priced it right, we had offers immediately. We were under contract just from the back and forth. In 5 days, we had it locked up, and they came in with a 18-day close. So just shy, or would have been just over 30 days, I think. And from everything we put out, and then what we actually netted at settlement was 106.
Wow. Amazing. So you had to front some costs to get the deal to the finish line, right? Which makes sense when you saw the potential in the deal, right? And then you ended up walking away after reimbursing yourself. You ended up walking away with $106,000 from one deal.
Yeah, on that one, yeah.
Ken, that is incredible, man. What does your deal volume look like now from month-to-month basis?
Was doing like 1 to 3 a month prior to July 1st. And last week we've got 1 under contract, put 4 under contract this week.
So now you got 5 deals under contract. I love hearing this. The fortune is definitely the follow-up. Before we close out here, can you share any tips or like any insights that you gained along the way that could help other people?
Just digging deeper in when you're talking with sellers, don't be afraid to ask. They have a problem. You're trying to help them. If they get snooty on the phone, then you know what? They don't need your help. They're just searching for pie in the sky. But the people who genuinely need your help, a lot of times they don't want to open up. So if you kind of dig down and find out what's going on, you can help them better. And again, like Chris said, helping people, that's where the money will follow.
Everyone wants the six-figure deal. Very few people pay attention to the things that actually create one. Follow up when other people stop. Move when the opportunity appears. Take great notes, dig deeper, and actually care about the person on the other end of the phone. None of that is flashy, but in Ken's case, it helped turn one opportunity into $106,000. If you're serious about getting your first wholesale deal, or you feel stuck and just need a clear plan, I've put a link below where you can schedule a free Freedom Roadmap call. We're gonna go ahead and look at where you're at today, what's actually holding you back, and what your next best step should be. There's no pressure, just a conversation about your goals and whether we can help you get there. And before you go, what's the biggest lesson you took away from Ken's story? Was it follow-up, sense of urgency, or digging deeper with sellers? Drop it in the comments. I read every one and I'd love to hear what stood out to you. And remember, buyers create certainty, deal flow creates opportunity, and control creates income. I'll talk to you soon.
That wraps up today's episode. Your next step is to head on over to virtualwholesalingmadesimple.com. Join our community and get your chance to book a strategy session and apply to work personally with one of our coaches. We look forward to seeing you on the next show with our next amazing guest. Talk soon.